Welcome to Black Briar Gaming. Today, I've got the one and only Dean Morris with me to go through each of our top 5 Astartes units in Horus Heresy, unique to the legions, and combining to give us a total of 10 of the most powerful units in the game. Dean toils away in the background for Black Briar Gaming, feeding me spicy takes on Heresy and generally starting arguments on rules interactions. I've decided it's time to drag him onto the channel, and there'll no doubt be more of his ramblings in the future. Enjoy! A quick note before we get into it, a subscribe and a like really helps us reach a bigger audience. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit those buttons down below. Also be sure to check out our affiliate link in the description. Now we're going to start with our number 5s today. That is those Legion units we think are pretty great, and work our way up to number 1s, the most powerful and useful units in the game. So my number 5, I'm going to start off with the Dark Fury squad. So we are talking about a Raven Guard unit here. It is 150 points for 5 of them. Stats, you're looking at essentially normal stats with 2 wounds, 3+ armor save, 2 attacks, etc. Why are they good? So Dark Furies are good because they can deep strike. They've got, of course, jump packs. Special rules, you're looking at Precision Strike. Sudden Strike is a big one here. Sudden Strike is, correct me if I'm wrong, +1 initiative on the turn they charge, which is just so nice. So you're killing them before they're hitting back. You've got 2 Raven's Talons. Now the Raven's Talons are Lightning Claws. They're doing anything 5?
5+ running.
5+ running. That's 5+ running. That's pretty good. So 5+ running on the Raven's Talons there. Otherwise, Lightning Claws. And they're just really good. So they get to go a little further with the Corvid Pattern jump packs, if I'm correct there. So an extra 2 cheeky inches. So they're just solid. They're just a really solid unit. They're a good grinder to grind down units. Big ones here. They can have a couple of choosers of the slain. So you can have 3 sergeants in this unit. For those extra attacks, they have weapon skill 5, bit of a bonus there, and they also have a 2+ save, which is huge. So it means that you can tank those AP3 wounds on your 3 sergeants that you pop into this unit, which is really nice. 3 Artificer Armored, and only +15 points, where you're getting extra weapon skill, extra attack, extra leadership, and Artificer Armor, essentially. So really nice for Dark Furies. The other one there is that they can take Melter Bombs. So you can have a cheeky 3 Melter Bombs in this unit, to just pop some Dreadnoughts, pop some tanks, and just do some nasty things. So that is the Raven Guard, Dark Fury squads. I think they're pretty great. They are my number 5. Dean, what are you looking at?
So for my number 5, I've gone with the Space Wolves Grey Stalker pack. I really like these ones because, first of all, unlike most of the elite Legion units, they're troops. So first of all, they're infantry line skirmish. So they've got that coherency. So pie plates don't take them off as much. They score, and they get plus cover saves as well, I believe. Their war gear is pretty standard. I think of them as like enhanced despoilers. So they got bolt pistol, chainsword, firecrack, all the normal stuff. But being a Space Wolf unit, they've got relentless, counterattack, and Heart of the Legion stock. Now that's all coming in at 12 points per model, so they're super economic. And you can just customize them so easily. You can give them bolters, combat shields for a point each, bayonets as normal. You can give any one of them a power weapon for 5 points, and you can bump them up to a 20-man squad. So you can turn them into a really quite nasty close combat unit. But just because they're relentless, you can give them bolters, rapid fire, and charge. You can give them plasma guns, melter guns for every 5 in the unit. You can take, a sergeant with the frost weapons, and melter bombs and the rest of it. So, what I think it really brings to the list is you can take a quite cheap, quite powerful unit that, whether you're running across the field, hiding on objectives, hiding in cover, you're going to be quite hard to move with that +1 cover save and the coherency. If they try and take you on, try and charge you in combat, you've got counterattack, you're hitting back with chainswords, and all your power weapons in the squad. So you can give 5 power weapons to the squad quite easily for a premium. And anyone who's trying to shift you are going to come up against. Anyone who's trying to hunt you down, you can outrange them with your Space Wolf's ability to move, run, and charge, and all that in a very tidy 12-point package. So that's why Grey Stalkers, although Grey Slayers are quite nice. I think Grey Stalkers are the standout, and that's why they're my number 5.
Good number 5. I'm slightly convinced that Grey Stalkers and Grey Slayers are in fact exactly the same. People would argue otherwise. They would say they have different options. I'd say you're a liar, and it's a giant conspiracy. Now, my number 4 is a unit that has been talked about quite a lot. It's nothing overly complicated here. We are talking about the Imperial Fist Phalanx Water Squad. It's water. I thought it was Warden.
It's water.
It's water. I've always called them Phalanx Wardens. It's water, so that's worse. Phalanx Warden sounds way better, but that's fine. So this is my number 4. They are utterly ridiculous. So you get 10 in a squad to start with instead of 5, just because for a very cheap 225 points. Now, what are these guys doing? They do only have 1 wound, so that is, that's something. They've got 3+ save. Essentially, they're breaches, but for close combat. So they've got boarding shields, they've got a power axe, they've got breacher charges. Is that only against buildings, breacher charges? It is. So, they're not blowing the mind yet, but stick with me. They are heavy, which is nice, so they can't run, which seems a little strange on a close combat unit, but it does mean they're getting a bit more defensive bonuses against template weapons, as we know. Now, the big things here, I don't really care about any of their options. It's not overly exciting, but firstly, entire squad can take melter bombs. That is the one option I do care about. You'll see that as a recurring theme. I think because Dreadnoughts are going to be such a pain, units that can take melter bombs are going to be premium in this edition. But the big thing here is their ridiculous rules. So as I said, they've got boarding shields, which is that 5+ invulnerable. Now, if they are within base-to-base contact with at least 2 other models, so they form their little shield wall. Imperial Fists are all about it. They get +1 to their invul save. So we're now at a 4+ invul save for these regular-ish troops. Now, they're only 20 points each, remember, and you can take them in up to units of 20. So already so survivable. Just to further that, they gain a bonus of +1 weapon skill if at least 3 models with the lockstep special rule is not locked in combat. All friendly models in that unit gain +1 weapon skill for the duration of any assault phase in which they're charged. So you want this unit to be charged. Essentially, they're that defensive kind of counterattack-ish unit. Now, when they get really good is when you take the ridiculous Rite of War, and that Rite of War is called... Wait for it. I want to say Stone Gauntlet. Yeah. Did I get that right?
I'm pretty sure it's Stone Gauntlet.
It is Stone Gauntlet. So not only do they become troops, they get line, which is huge. But furthermore, they gain the Heart of Legion special rules. So that's that Feel No Pain and Stubborn while near objectives. So hard to shift. But the big one is they get the re-roll invulnerable saves made against shooting attacks or attacks made during the fight subphase. That is just nuts. So it doesn't work if you've run, charged, or sweeping advance. So you have to be charged yourself. But in a game where you can just put this giant unit of 20 ridiculous breacher marines with power axes on an objective to sit there, and the enemy has to come to you, and they have to try and shift you off, and you're going to be getting all of these bonuses. I think Phalanx Warders are extremely spicy. They make the Imperial Fists, which are already a fantastic legion, just that little bit better. So that is my my pick for number 4. Dean, what are you looking at for number 4?
For my number 4, you'll begin to sense a theme. I am a Blood Angels player, so there's going to be some spicy angels in my list. I've chosen the Angels Tiers as my number 4, the Blood Angels specific Destroyer unit. So very similar to the normal Destroyer stat line. So 1 wound, but 2 attacks. 2 Volkite Serpenta, so that is an upgrade to normal destroyers, but a Chainsword, Rad, Frag, and Crack, and a Legion Warhawk jump pack. Normal rules, they have counterattack. They do have Stubborn, which not sure if the normal destroyers do get, and they've got Bitter Duty. But the reason you take Angel Tiers is because of their insane weapon options. So they're 20 points each. They start off at 150 points for 5. You can give the entire unit melter bombs, which I know Charles is very excited about. But you can give anyone in the squad, you can exchange one of their Volkite Serpentas for a Angel's Tiers grenade launcher, a heavy flamer, and I'm gonna mess this up, an Iliastis assault cannon, a rotor cannon, or a heavy chainsword. So that's the Angel's Tears for 10 points, Heavy Flamer for 5, Eliastus for 10, Rotor Cannon for 3, or the Heavy Chainsword for 2. I don't see a reason why you'd give him a Heavy Chainsword when you can give him shooty weapons. The reason that's so exciting is having 10 Angel's Tears with Assault Cannons is pumping out 40 shots, Strength 6, AP4 Rending with a 6+. So they're quite spicy against a lot of targets. And being an assault weapon, you can jump 12 inches and keep firing all day. And if anyone does manage to find you in close combat, you're still a Blood Angel. So you've got, with a chainsword, so you've got 2 attacks. You can obviously use your reactions. And you've got Rad Grenade, so it's really putting the hurt on anyone. The Angel's Tears Grenade Launcher is their unique weapon, so that's quite good. It's a 24-inch Strength 4 AP4, Assault 3, Fleshbane weapon with Rad Phage. So that weapon is, if you manage to do a wound on something, and it doesn't kill it outright, it is neg 1 toughness for the rest of the game. So I think it's going to be quite good against stuff like Automata in the future.
Does that stack with the Rad Grenades?
It does. It does stack with Rad Grenades. So
spicy.
if you manage to hit someone with this and hit them with Rad Grenades, they'd be going to almost Marine toughness off a Castellax or
just toughness too on Marines.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? Your normal attacks would be instant killing them at that point. And yeah, the rest of the Sergeant, you can take all the normal close combat and weapons and upgrade himself to Artificer armor. But I just think it's a very solid unit, even though they're coming out at about 30 points each with an assault cannon, a big 10-man squad with an assault cannon, and maybe 1 or 2 grenade launchers just to put the hurt on big ticket items like Dreadnoughts as well. If you manage to get a lucky wound on a Dreadnought, it goes down to toughness 6 for a Contemptor and toughness 7 for a Leviathan, making them so much more manageable for the rest of your army. It might actually be worth putting them on Dreadnought Hunter duty, because the rending will also help against that.
Just min squads with assault cannons and these Angel Tears grenade launchers seem like great Dreadnought counters. Yeah.
Nah, max squads for me. You've only got so many elite choices. I've got a lot of Dreadnoughts to fit in my list. It's flying Dreadnoughts as well, being Blood Angels. All right, so that's it for my Blood Angels. What is going to be your number 3, Charles?
Yeah, so we're moving up the list, obviously going reverse order here from what we think is kind of weaker to stronger. These are the top 10 Legion units we're looking at. So for my number 3, this is, I think, the third best Legion unit from my point of view, is actually the Pyroclast Squad. So for those that don't know, it is a Salamander Legion unit, and you don't hear about the Salamanders that often. They don't get a great rap, but this particular unit, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It is quite expensive. They do come at 30 points each, but they have 2 wounds, and they have 2+ save. That is 2 things that I love to see in an elite unit. They have It Will Not Die 5+, and they have the Mantle of Ash. So they've got a 5+ invulnerable save against Flame, Plasma, Melter, and Volkite, which is a lot of weapons that you're going to see out there, so that's pretty fantastic. But why you're really taking these guys is their crazy weapon, the Pyroclast Flame Projector. So you can either use this as essentially a melter weapon or a really strong flamer, which is just great. So the Dispersed is a flamer at strength 6, and it's got the Dragon's Breath special rule, which is doing D6 hits to anything that tries to charge you. The Focused is just essentially a melter gun. That kind of flexibility and that diversity of weapons within the one squad is absolutely amazing. You can switch it up within a turn, depending on what you're getting charged by. So different reactions, you can use different weapons to what you're shooting with. It's just nuts. They come stock with melter bombs. That's right. Because we're all about the melter bombs today. They also have bolt pistol and close combat weapon as well. So they're getting an extra attack in combat. If they charge in, they're up to now 4 attacks. So not terrible in combat either, especially because the Sergeant equivalent, the Warden, there's the Warden, can have a power weapon, Power Fist, or Thunder Hammer. So I think the Pyroclast are great. You do have to work a little to use them, so you need to get them up into your enemy's face. Their weapons are obviously quite short range, so you're looking at chucking them in a Rhino if you like to gamble a little. Coming out of a drop pod is nice. Coming out of a Termite Assault Drill is even nicer, and that's probably how I'd love to run these. So it just depends. I don't love units that you have to work to get into your enemy's face, but having a short range firepower unit that actually the enemy don't want to charge into once it's in their backlines is really nice. And with the potential for Overwatch that this unit has, the enemy is not going to want to charge it, either because of those flamers or because of the melter guns. Even a Dreadnought doesn't want to charge into this squad if you're putting, 5 to 10 melter gun shots into a Dreadnought that's trying to charge you. So that is, yeah.
I was going to say 100%. I was just thinking, what would I charge this squad with? I was thinking maybe Cataphracti, because they would get rerolls against the template, but no, you just switch it to the melter gun and potentially murder half the squad as they charge in.
Yeah, you're instant deathing any kind of Terminators that are charging you. So you just stick this in the way of your enemy's assault units. It's insane. It's so powerful, and you can't shoot them off the board. With 2 wins and 2+ saves, you're going to have to be shooting them with las cannons to do anything to them. So that is the Pyro class squad. That's my number 3. I think they're super powerful. The best reason to play Salamanders. There is a Rite of War where you can take them as troops. Do they get line in that Rite of War?
That is a good question.
Let's just have a quick look.
In case you're wondering, that is a big draw for us. Things that there's a lot of Rites of War that give things troops, but not line, which is a bit of a shame.
They sure do get line. Oh, and troops, of course. So you just take 6 units of Pyroclast, and you don't care. You don't care about anything anymore. You are living your best life. That's fantastic.
6 units in Rhinos or Land Raiders could be quite a force.
Yeah, love it. All right, so that is the Pyroclast. Next, Dean, what is your number 3 unit?
So I've gone very loyalist heavy to start with, unsurprisingly, but I'm going to go a bit of a Traders one. So my number 3 is the Galvor Back Squad, which is one of the Word Bearer's specialist squads or unique squads. So they are not a Marine stat line. They're movement 8, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 9, 3+ armor save. So already they're coming out of the gate at almost a psycho captain or a little bit of a weaker praetor stat line. A little bit of a weaker, higher strength and toughness. They come with a bolt spitter, which it's named differently, but it's effectively a bolter. Tainted Talons, which is a lightning claw. I believe it's a lightning claw. Give me a second.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, it's a, not quite. So it's AP3 melee, rending 6+, but murderous strike 6+ as well. So they could actually do quite a bit of damage to Terminators or even Dreadnoughts potentially with the 6. And the rest of it's pretty normal. The special rules are obviously the Word Bearers, but they have Relentless, Chosen Warriors, Rage 2, giving them an all-important 2 attacks on the charge. Feel No Pain 5+, which I think is going to come into effect quite a bit, being Toughness 5 instead of Toughness 4, which means even las cannons won't be doubling them out. Bulky Tool, 2 to be expected, and Traitor. So no Loyalist Alpha Legion are taking these in the Force. So it is 275 points for 5, so very pricey. And 55 points for any additional, but I think we can all agree that you get a lot for your 55 points. In addition, for every 5 models in the squad, 1 may exchange their bolter for one of the following: Flamer, Melter Gun, Warpfire Blasters, or another set of Tainted Talons, effectively giving them an extra attack in close combat. Additionally, for every 5 models in the unit, 1 model may exchange their Tainted Talons for either a Power Weapon or a Power Fist. I think the Power Fist is really good on that, bringing them up to Strength 10, allowing you to open up Land Raiders and basically anything else, and doubling out almost anything in the game. I really like this squad because it's just so hard to deal with, and you're getting 15 wounds in a standard size squad. So almost anything you're charging, you're striking before Marines, hitting them on 3s, wounding them on 3s, and with rending and murderous strike as well.
Yeah. You're getting 6 attacks on the charge. That's insane.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
no, you're not. No.
Your 2 Tainted Talons?
No. Well, if you do have 2 Tainted Talons, but they come with 1
They just come with 1.
Gotcha. 5 attacks on the charge is nothing to sneeze at.
That's right.
And then, so you got your Power Fists, and then, you give 1 or 2 of them if you take them out to a 10-man squad, and that's a third of your army in 1 unit. Very, very nasty, and I'm sure anyone who's come up against Galvor back in on the battlefield can attest to this. They are quite scary, and that is why they're my number 3.
Very good. All right, number 2. This is not the most creative of picks. It is the Invictaris suzerain squad of the Ultramarines. It is outrageous. There's so much going on here. Now, to start with, they're only 30 points each. Just keep that in mind. So they're the same as those Pyroclasts I was talking about before. And just keep that in mind as I talk through their stats. So they have 2 wounds. They have a 2+ armor save. Ticks. They've got 3 attacks each. Every single one of them. Their weapon skill 5. These are all fantastic things. Now, they've got line, just because they can have line. They don't even need to take a rite of war. They don't care. They've got line all the time. They're heavy, so they're getting a bit of protection from that. Cannot run. That is a thing. You're going to need to put these guys definitely in a transport. The biggest thing, though, here, and something that's so rare within Heresy, is AP2 at initiative for anything that isn't a Primarch or a Dreadnought or a Lord with a what's the sword? Gone blank. Super good sword that Praetors have.
Paragon Blade.
Paragon Blade, right? So Praetors, to get AP2, have to take a Paragon Blade at initiative, right? And that thing's, I don't know, 20 points or something ridiculous.
30 points.
30 points, oh my goodness. Which is how much of one of these boys costs. Yep. Now, the weapon here is the Legatine Axe. So the Legatine Axe is the strength of the user, AP2, full stop. It just strikes at initiative, which is insane. So you're striking before Terminators, getting through their armor. It's just nuts. But it doesn't stop there. They've got these Argyrum, what are they doing? Pattern boarding shields. 5+ invul against shooting, 4+ invul against combat. Just because. They're just better than normal boarding shields. Right.
That's insane for 30 points.
Yeah, it gets better. We're not done yet. So also, all friendly infantry and cavalry within 6 inches of them just get +1 leadership. Just because that's a thing. You can turn them into a retinue and give them a Legion standards. That helps units around them even more. It would also give them line if they didn't already have it, because they don't care.
It does give them fearless as well, so good luck ever breaking that leadership 9. Well, I mean, at that point they're fearless, but
yeah, they don't care. They're sticking around forever. They're so tough. They kill so much stuff. I don't know what they were thinking when they put this unit together. The writers of this Legion book, the loyalists, they just don't care. Now, it's also important to note that any suzerain, in case that strength 4 axe hitting an initiative AP2 wasn't enough, you can just give them a Thunder Hammer as well for +10 points. So they're getting access to Thunder Hammers for, I believe, pretty much cheaper than Terminators are at around the same points. Cheaper, I think, than Cataphracti, maybe same points for Tartarus. But just with all this other stuff going on as well. So this unit is insanely powerful. Every single Ultramarine player will take one.
And the worst part is they're not even bulky. So you can fit 10 of them in a normal pattern Proteus Land Raider and run them straight into your enemy's gun line or even combat squad and watch them all fall apart.
You sure can. And they're not expensive. 30 points for this model is so very affordable. Very, very significant. So that is my number 2 pick, the Suzerain squad there. Just a quick shout out too for the Ultramarines, just because they couldn't help themselves. When the Legacies document came out, if you haven't read it already, have a good look at those Ultramarine units in that document compared to any other Legion. They're so much better. Siege Tyrant Terminators, which I may or may not talk about in a minute, just kind of get a little sad next to those Legacies. You will note that we're not including Legacies units in this chat. It's a PDF, right? So I don't. We're just following with the books, the levers today for the Legions. We'll leave those Legacies units for another time if we choose to cover them. But that is the Suzerain, very powerful. Next up, Dean, what are you putting at number 2 that you think competes with those Ultramarine boys?
Okay, so look, the Suzerains, what do you call them, are very hard to beat. But once again, I'm gonna go back to my Blood Angels. I think this next unit is pretty amazing. It is the Dawnbreaker cohort. So, veteran stat line, weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, 3 attacks on the sergeant. They are 25 points each, 150 for 5. They come with a Falling Star pattern power spear, which is +1 strength, AP 3, melee, reach, and rending 5+. Reach being initiative 5. So striking before normal Marines and rending 5 just in case you come up against anything with 2+ save. They also come with a grenade discharger with frag and crack bombs. So that's 12-inch range, strength 3, AP 6, assault 3 pinning for the frag grenades, and the crack bombs 12-inch range, strength 6, AP 4, assault 1. So not hugely impressive, but it gives you a little bit of versatility, and pinning on their shooting weapons is very interesting. They have frag grenades and artificer armor, so giving that all-important 2+ save, and of course a Legion Warhawk jump pack, because the Blood Angels can't help but give a jump pack to most of their units. It is our tactic. For special rules, they have obviously Blood Angels, Furious Charge 1, and Set the Sky aflame, which is when a unit composed entirely of models with this rule is deployed as part of a deep strike assault, and I mean, why wouldn't you? Any enemy unit within 6 of the unit's final position has a neg 1 modifier to their leadership characteristic when taking pinning tests caused by this deep strike assault. So you drop them in. I mean, one of the warlord traits for Blood Angels does give you fear, so it would be neg 2 to the pinning test for all those units around them. I think this is and that. Not only would that stop them from, doing anything that next turn, but it turns off that all-important reaction, so might actually get your squad there in one piece. For the rest of their options, as I said, they're 25 points for each additional one. Anyone in the squad can exchange their Power Spear for an Equinox Power Blade case. Now, that is a pair of power swords with their own special rules. One of the blades is a Sunrise Blade, which is melee, shred, sudden strike, so effectively a lightning claw with +1 initiative on the charge, or a Sunset Blade, which is melee, rending 5+ sunder, the same sword that the Crimson Paladins have, allows you to get rending against AP2 weapons, but also gives you sunder, so you could potentially get to Armor 14, because they've got Furious Charge 1, they could get to Strength 5, +6, +D3, so you could actually glance a Land Raider with these Marines on the charge.
Yeah, and you're re-rolling. You're re-rolling to do it with that Sunder.
You could actually do enough to glance it to death, surprisingly, so Land Raiders are not immune nor safe from Blood Angels. The next one is, so each of those blade cases is only 5 points per model. Additionally, the squad can take melter bombs for 25 points per model.
Is that everything? Is that everything so far we've covered can take melter bombs? Not the Suzerain.
I think so. Well, the Suzerain can take Thunderhammers, so it's about as good as one, right?
Yeah, well.
In addition, the Dawnbreaker Champion can replace his Power Spear with either a power weapon for free, a little bit boring, or a Perdition weapon for 5 points, which are effectively +1 strength power weapons with brutal 2, but they are all two-handed weapons. That's a Blood Angel only thing, but I think it's actually quite powerful.
Yeah, brutal is so good, team. If you see something with brutal on it, you take it because it's great.
There's not a huge amount with it. It's mostly Dreadnought weapons, Thunder Hammers, and of course all of these weapons. But 100%, you take it. It's become the go-to weapon for taking out everything with extra wounds. So that is it for my number 2. What sits? I mean, I think I can guess it, but what sits on your top of your hill?
Look, I've given a hint already. Is it the most powerful unit? Maybe not, but I've used it a bunch of times already in Heresy games that we played. It is the Tyrant Siege Terminators of the Iron Warriors. I love this unit so much. I don't think I'd ever take more than 5 of them in an army because it just feels so dirty. But being able to, at 48-inch range, ignoring night fighting, which is just so common at the moment in these Heresy games, being able to pump out so many Strength 8 AP3 shots is just insane. So I'll quickly go through them. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting excited here. So they're Cataphracti Terminators. That's what they are, right? They do have an Omniscope on their master, which is that thing I talked about before to ignore night fighting. It also helps you do some intercepting when things are deep striking or coming in from reserves, etc. But the real benefit of these guys is their Tyrant rocket launcher. So we're talking about, look, it's got frag, it's got flak, but what I really care about is the crack. It's the it's that heavy 2, strength 8, AP3. And the real benefit here is you can start to do some crazy things with them. So my favorite is to put the Warlord in them with Warlord trait that gives them an extra shot from their weapons. So we're now firing 3 rockets each. A unit of 5 is putting out 15 crack missiles. It's just going to tear apart attack squad.
That's real evil. Very in keeping with the 4th Legion.
It is the 4th Legion.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Yeah, well done. Nailed it. Dean does struggle with his Legion numbers sometimes. But the real spice here is when you use the Iron Warrior advanced reaction to double your shots. So now, including that Warlord, you're putting out, as a shooting reaction, when you get shot at, 5 crack missiles from each of your Terminators. Now, you are getting hot on 1s and 2s, so it is a gamble. I have killed a few in my time, but it's crazy. It's 25 missile shots from a unit if they get shot at. So rude.
Balanced. They're so balanced. No, that's a phenomenal unit. And let's be honest, if anyone else could take them, Ultramarines, they definitely would be taking them. Or Alpha Legion. I think they're a prime pick for the Alpha Legion's Rewards of Treachery mechanic.
Yeah, so the Ultramarines missile dreadnoughts, missile terminators, whatever they're called, I can't recall right now. Slightly different. So they haven't got crack missiles from memory. Instead, they put out these wild Terminator killing shots. And I could be wrong there. I'm gonna not talk about that anymore in case I am and pretend we didn't. But just the ability to put out that many shots, you can fire them at anything you want. Sure, Terminators are going to get a 2+ save against them, but against 25 shots, if you get it off, they're going to roll some 1s, right? And you're instant deathing. Against any vehicles, they're good, because Iron Warriors, of course, have +1 to the strength of their weapons to fire at vehicles, and Dreadnoughts, and Automata, and all kinds of other things. So, Siege Tyrant Terminators, Tyrant Siege, if you will, Terminators, they are very powerful. My favorite, the look on people's face when they just have to pick up their whole tactical squad from one phase of shooting, it's rude.
And the thing is, even if you get in close combat with them, it's still a Terminator. It's still a Terminator with a Power Fist and a Combi Bolter stock. You're not going to have an easy time killing them, unless they kill themselves with their own rockets, of course.
That's it. They're hard to shift, will blow themselves up. Totally worth it. So that's my number 1 pick as my top Legion-specific unit in the game. Dean, what is that your number 1?
I am bringing it home with my Angels theme, not with the Bloods, but with those secretive Dark Angels. My top pick is the Deathwing Companion Detachment. They are actually a HQ choice, being a retinue or command squad-esque choice. They come in at 150 points for 4 models. They've got veteran stat line. Weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, and leadership 9 for the sergeant. Now, here's where they start getting interesting. Each one of them comes with a Calibanite Warblade, which is a +1 strength power sword. They all have Artificer armor, bolt pistol. The sergeant comes with a refractor field for free, which puts him on balance with a normal captain as your sergeant or a normal centurion. They do have to have the Deathwing hexagrammic sigil, I think it is.
Yeah, hexagrammaton, no one can say that.
No, yeah.
No one ever will be able to.
It's effectively the Dark Angels chapter tactic, which will give them +1 to hit when utilizing that Warblade.
Legion tactic, thank you. Chapter tactic.
Shame. Oh, forgive me.
Shame.
Forgive me. Chapter tactic is not what they are. It is Legion tactic, of course. Their special rules is Deathsworn Companions. So any unit that contains one model with the special rule ignores the effects of precision strike, precision shot, and sniper. So all those sniper rifles cannot take what they want from this squad, which makes them so effective.
Yeah, sniper rifles are going to be super popular. I think precision shots are going to make a big part of this game. So being able to ignore that mechanic and like recon marines, right? Seekers, how many scout squads with sniper rifles, nemesis bolters everywhere. These guys just ignore it. They don't care.
Yep.
Whatever.
You've got to take it. You have to kill them on the Dark Angels' terms and no one else's. The next one is Chosen Warriors, so you'll be able to accept and give out challenges as you wish. Relentless, which is pretty common among a lot of the elite units, and Deathwing Retinue. So Deathwing Retinue is effectively, this unit can only be bought as a retinue for a character. With Master of the Legion and Legionis Astarte's Dark Angel special rule, in the same way a command squad is.
Can you give them a Legion Standard?
No, they do not come with a Legion Standard, so they cannot be line, unfortunately, and they are not also fearless. But I think that's a small price to pay for their other options. So they can take a Rhino and a Land Raider, very similar to other units. They are only 25 points each. For 5 additional bodyguards.
Yeah, that is so cheap for what you're getting here. 25 points is a steal.
If you feel the need, you can also give their bolter a bayonet or a chain bayonet for the normal points. But as is the theme for most of this, you can give them melter bombs for 25 points for the unit. In addition, you can exchange their Warblade for either a Power Fist for 5 points or a Tyrannic Greatsword for 5 points. If you don't know what this is, it is a +2 strength, two-handed, rending 5+, murderous strike 5+, huge Warblade.
Yeah, so Murderous Strike, for those that don't know, it gives you instant death on a 5+ there. That might not sound too exciting until you're facing Dreadnoughts, and each one of those Murderous Strikes is doing D3 wounds. So instant death, Murderous Strike, very important, and it's really nice to see on a weapon swinging at initiative.
Absolutely, because even being strength 6 as these Marines are, you're going to need a 5 or a 6 to hurt a Dreadnought anyway. So you're getting through their armor, and every wound that gets through is multiplying. So a squad of these guys will take a Dreadnought to task pretty quickly. In addition, any model can replace their bolter for either one of the combi weapons, a Magna combi weapon for 10 points, or a minor for 5 points, a plasma pistol, or and I'm going to butcher this again, a Scythion, and I'm not even going to try that again.
Perfection.
Pattern Aegis. Think of it as another kind of shield. So the Pattern Aegis, the Aegis can be used in one of two ways. It can either provide the bearer with a 4+ invulnerable save against shooting and a 5+ invulnerable save against melee attacks, so the reverse of that Scissorin shield, or it can be deployed. The controlling player may choose to deploy the Aegis at any of their own movement phases. The unit must be deployed in the battlefield and not embarked upon any model, so you could deep strike with them and lock it down on the turn you come down, because it's the end of the movement phase, not the start. As long as at least 2 models in the unit are equipped with the Aegis, all models in the unit, and all units in the unit must deploy their Aegis, if any do. While deployed, the entire unit gets that 4+ invulnerable save against shooting and the 5+ against melee attacks, making them incredibly powerful, incredibly hard to shift then. And any enemy models engaged with a model from the detachment in an assault are reduced initiative by 1.
Oh, so these boys are striking first. Can they charge while having the shield deployed?
Yes, they can.
Okay, very good. So the enemy is at -1 initiative, or you're at -1 initiative.
The enemy is at -1 initiative. The only restriction is anyone that has the shield and when they're deployed cannot attack. So they cannot attack in close combat while the shield is deployed. So if you only have 2 out of 10, and remember, snipers can't pick out the shields. If 2 of them are deployed, then 2 of them will not be able to attack, but the entire squad gets the benefit, and the enemy is always at -1 initiative.
That's huge. So you're striking first against Marines, essentially, is what it comes down to. And that's really powerful. That's really nice.
It means that, yes, against that Dreadnought, it might hit you, or you might hit it, but you're striking first with all of those Tyrannic Greatswords, minus the ones, any attacks or any weapons given to the ones with shields, but you could take apart a Dreadnought and it will never get the chance to hurt you. In addition, one of them may take a Vexilla, and if the Praetor or a model with the Master of the Legion that you buy the squad for has a jump pack, you may give every model in the squad a jump pack at 10 points each.
So that deep striking that you were talking about before, just to get them in the enemy's face, that's so easily achievable, because you can give them all jump packs, and only 10 points each. That's really affordable. So you deep strike down, you put down your shields, you charge in, and you just murder. You just murder whatever you want. Fantastic.
I'm not saying that 40 points for a companion with a jump pack and a Tyrannic Greatsword is a steal. Oh, no, actually I am saying that. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a Cataphractii Terminator, right? With I don't know, an extra little bump. So it's totally worth it, just completely.
I think I'm actually going to change some of my own Dark Angel army to include one squad of these guys and just go to town, max out the points, and see where that takes me. So that is my number 1 spot, and I think that gets me really effective.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Dean. So that is our top 10 Legion-specific units. If you're looking for some oomph for your Legion units, look at one of these. Look at including them, and potentially choosing this Legion just for these units. They're that good. And that brings us to the end of our Heresy chats for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments which Legion units you think are best, and what you think of our rankings. Importantly, make sure to keep rolling those dice and getting hyped for Heresy.